This is Gifted Gains, back at it again. I'm going to give you a short little rundown video of kind of what happened yesterday, along with expectations for today, and then I'll leave you with a video with the king of the flip-flop, and maybe some Mark Cuban to finish it out. But starting with what happened yesterday, basically just a flat day of trading, bunch of consolidation, which is perfectly fine. Um, which is kind of ironic too, because we didn't really see this flat of consolidation. Um, most of the days prior to now, when you see this during the after hours, there was movement. Um, they were able to hammer it down, but with the new rules coming into play, you don't really see as much of that. And this bar here, this one was crazy. It was green this morning and jumped. It was 58, 53, same price point, but it was a green candle wick. And now it's just one big red one, which is kind of strange. Looking at the order book, it's filling up rather bullishly. So, again, I kind of expect a bullish day for AMC today with the new rule actually going into effect. The new rule technically went into effect yesterday, but as I expected, it was probably at close. So, as a mere technicality, it wasn't really going to be enforced until today. So, yesterday or day before yesterday, knowing that it may take a little longer than expected to be active, I jumped into Workhorse for a 1 day swing trade, kind of expecting uh, kind of expecting it to be a distraction. It seems like every time before AMC runs, they'll dangle a little forbidden fruit in front of your face of like, hey, look at this one. This one's got a lot of short against it and it's running. And usually since January, off and on, that's been Workhorse. However, they pushed Torchlight instead of Workhorse. And usually they end up being like a pump and dump that they're trying to push out in front of you to lure you out of AMC. And ironically, you see Torchlight kind of ran up and ran right back down, mostly due to the spinoff, but also due to that as well. So be cautious when you start hearing these new things pop up out of the blue that you're really unaware of. I mean, as you see in Workhorse here, yeah, it can be beneficial if you jump in soon enough and literally only keep it as like a 1 day trade. You can make money off of those forbidden fruits that they hang in front of you. However, I just don't recommend taking away from your positions in AMC or GME to divert to something like that, because not only is that like a risky play, but you're taking away from something that's solid to put on thin ice, and it's just not ideal normally. Anyways, with that, we'll carry on. Torchlight, as I mentioned, it's seen better days. This is kind of like an ideal pump and dump of what you would expect, where it runs up and then right back down. And this is why you be very cautious and take everything with a grain of salt, especially the things that just pop up right out of the blue. You always want to be careful of that. Um, the rest of the meme stocks down here, as you can see, aren't doing that great. Um, and I mean, these ones are basically meme stocks, but I feel that AMC and GME, are. I'm kind of with Wrench on this one. It's not necessarily a meme stock anymore when you have gone up a staggering amount and held it, and you're not declining. So, anyways, with that, I expect a rather bullish day or two to kind of close out the week here. I hope everybody has a blessed and successful day/week. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it out here. I'm gonna add in a couple videos to close it out with. One of Jim Kramer. I can't stand this guy, but I just want you to. The reason why I'm adding it in is because I want you to see what the news is saying about us. The good thing is they're still talking about us. They can't keep AMC out their mouth. the bad thing is they want to sit here and pump a bunch of fear, uncertainty, and doubt into the markets. And the reason behind that is because a large majority of the news outlets is, fun fact, actually owned by hedge funds. Uh, this is one of those where normally I would provide my facts to show it to you, but I want you to fact check everything. This is one of those things where I want you to go in and I want you to look up at what hedge funds own what news medias, and it may surprise you. Again, this is just my pure observation. And again, this is just speculation on my behalf. And at the end of the day, I want everybody to keep in mind, I am definitely not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I'm basically just explaining typically what I'm doing each day, why I'm doing it, and my expectations of it. That's basically it. Again, hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day/week. Thanks. Gifted Gains is out. Like, share, subscribe for more content. Again, sorry I'm not your top-notch quality content producer, and I'm mostly just doing this for information for friends and family. However, if anybody else finds this beneficial, again, like, subscribe, comment, let me know. And yeah, have a blessed day. Thanks.
Money column this morning. You mentioned the momentum in the meme stocks. You mentioned the short-term lifespan of some of these stocks that we've seen, such as Wendy's versus the AMC and GMEs, which are really the only two winners, as you point out, of the Reddit investors so far. So what does this tell you about the staying power of this kind of investment?
Well, I think that clearly reveals that they're not investors. They're just about targeting a couple of shorts. There's the fact that there's no natural sellers from AMC up here in the 60s, rather amazing, given the fact that there's still no real comeback to the theaters. But Adam Aaron is fantastic, and if you buy the stock, you get free popcorn, and free popcorn is like free beer. There isn't anyone who doesn't mind free popcorn, but that's the one that hasn't any natural sellers. GameStop, I understand, shouldn't have natural sellers because those people, owners, are waiting to see what Ryan Cohen does, but everything else has been pretty much disastrous. The Corsair being the worst. They pushed Corsair, the insiders were ready, and they shot the buyers. It was kind of like a Valentine's Day massacre, except for happening to be more around Memorial Day. And the Wendy's push was so Bush, it was scary. I mean, they had absolutely nothing other than the fact that they liked the salad, which is really extraordinary to me. I feel that the push on Cleveland Cliffs is going to be ill-fated, given the fact there's no infrastructure bill. But I really do like Cleveland Cliffs. Irons come down. It really is just a case of they're a two-stock gang, and they're nothing else. I'm looking at BlackBerry, trying to figure out exactly what's going on there. I haven't been able to come up with anything. I'm going to be working on that for the next couple of days. But when you only have two stocks, I question whether you're a movement. They tried, there was this kind of attempt to squeeze Bed Bath & Beyond. I like Bed Bath. It has a 33% short position, which seems unwise given the fact that Mark Tritton's very involved doing a good job. Although I don't think the stock has episode to the 30s, that's one they're trying to squeeze. But, this like the kind of squeezing thing is getting old. And AMC is, if natural sellers came out or if AMC decided to sell more stock in order to pay down more debt, then that would collapse too. I don't want that to happen. I think Adam Aaron's doing a fantastic job. But these guys are not investors. They have two stocks. When they venture out of those two stocks, they have nothing, because they were only just about short busting. The apes were not about doing work. So I salute the apes that they've been able to control two stocks. I wonder whether the government salutes them. I think we'll find out. If the government finds out that there's collusion among buyers, it's entirely possible they could say that should have been registered as a proxy. That would be a very aggressive SEC if they did that. But two stocks. There's a lot of other stocks to look at, but that turned out to be all they were about. And all that diamond hand and the YOLO, just two stocks. So let's focus on other stocks. I'll stay focused on AMC and GameStop at every second. I get up in the morning at 3. I look at where they are, what people are saying. I go to bed at 11. That's because I like to work harder than any ape.
High-frequency traders are front-running smaller investors, in his words. Legal front-running is how he puts it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, there's no question about it. They know that if you go to the store every day to get a Snickers bar, well, if I run to the store first, get a little bit of a discount, and then sell you your Snickers bar, they're going to make a little bit of money, especially if they do it millions of times. And so, it's almost like the SOS bandits, where you take advantage of a regulation that's not quite right. It's what they do, and they've been doing it for a long time, and it's reality. But I don't think that's even the greatest risk of high-frequency trading. That's just part of the deal.
What is the greatest risk then?
The greatest risk is that there's no such thing as bug-free software. All this is software driven. It's actually even going to processor driven with FPGA processors. And because there's no such thing as bug-free software, when you have fat finger bugs, you just don't know what's going to happen to the market. So there are structural risks, there are trading risks, and I think that, plus the fact that when you have algorithms trying to figure out routes and trying to figure out how to get ahead of orders. Look, it's not like there's just one player who's jumping in front of all these orders. You've got all these different algorithmic high-frequency traders who are trying to trick each other and find a better way to get in front of each other. And because we don't know all the algorithms, because we don't know the n factorial, all of the different ways they may interact and the negative consequences that occur as a result, that introduces a market risk. That market risk has an unquantifiable cost. We saw it in one instance with the flash crash. We see it every day with little mini flash crashes. We've seen it's gotten a little bit better with the circuit breakers per stock, but we just don't know. And that's even without the possibility of a malicious algorithm being intentionally introduced into the mix. And so there's so many things that can go wrong as all these high frequency traders jockey to get in front of that order. That to me is the biggest problem. And I think as a result, you'll see people not staying with their positions as long because they're not quite sure what's going to happen with the market. When you see something start to go bad in the market, they don't trust the system to say, you know what, somebody will jump in there and pick up the trades. For all they know, the chair might be pulled out and the whole market could fall even further. And then we have such strong correlations between different markets and different types of equities and financial devices that even though there's circuit breakers involved, one trade down, limit down, might lead to something happening in another, might lead to something happening in another equity, might lead to something happening in a full market. And who knows how far that can cascade. All those things introduce risk, and all those things take a lot of money to try to understand and combat.
Yo, shout out Wall Street Bets, JJ, Brian, Elon Musk, my mom, what up?